Even as the Modi government is completing 9 years in government, one of the major focus areas has been their infrastructure push. What are the gaps that still remain, if at all, and why has the focus on highways, infrastructure, airports become one of the major focal points for this government? Let's listen in to General V.K. Singh. So we often joke that if you want to hear the blunt and the unvarnished truth, you should always ask a Fauji. Never holding back punches, are you, sir?
Well, it's always good to say what is the right thing. And right thing means what is actually happening.
So we are in the 9th year of the Modi government. The ministry that you hold, so one of the ministries that you hold, it is got much plaudits, the road transport and highways. But I don't want to ask you about your achievements. We know about the record number of kilometers of highways, roads done every day. What in the last 9 years is your biggest problem, especially when it comes to the infrastructure push? The Prime Minister made it very clear that highways, airports, infrastructure, HERA as he calls it, is going to be the main focus from here on. What is your one lasting regret of the last 9 years, especially in road transport and highways?
See, there's no regret as such. I'll put it the other way around, that last 2 budgets especially, when you see, they've been capex oriented. Capex more biased towards infrastructure. And why infrastructure? When you start constructing things, it affects 300 to 400 different industries, small industries. I mean, if you're going to make a house, I think it will affect about 300 odd industries. Somebody is making nails, somebody is making something else, something is making doors. Overall, the capital that you are spending is actually getting distributed in a very large section. And therefore, it results in a fair amount of economic rejuvenation. So, over a period of these 9 years, you will see that year on year, infrastructure has taken a leap. If you take the road sector, I'll say our only regret is that we have not been able to ensure that fatalities in road accidents reduce. They have gone up. The roads are excellent. The speeds are higher. A lot of times accidents happen because of the speed mania. A lot of times it happens because how the vehicle or the pedestrian is crossing the road. So, I mean, 5 lakh accidents per year, and almost, let's say 2 years back, figure was about 1.5 lakhs of fatalities. We have brought it down to 130. But that's not, it doesn't make us happy. We want it to come down far below that. So there's a lot of effort that is on. And same is true. Wherever the infrastructure goes up, many other things happen which need to be controlled.
The concern about highways. Roads are being built with speed, but there are also debts which are being incurred by the NHAI, and the current debt stands at 3.48 trillion in March 2022. How do you address this?
It is a misnomer. It's a misnomer because the model that is in place is whether you do it on EPC or you do it on HAM or you do it on BOT, the money is coming from the banks and it goes into the road making, and after that it is being recovered through the tolls. Ultimately it is going back. So we are not factoring this particular aspect. We are getting a fair amount of money out of our tolls, and especially after FASTag, the figures have gone up dramatically. We have had, with the FASTag coming in, today it's almost 95% recovery is there. And very soon, give us another 6-7 months, we are changing to a different system where we will do away with the barriers. And we will only record the vehicle that enters the road, whether it is through a system where the satellite reads it, or the GPS reads it, or the camera reads it. All the data is available. When you exit the road, same thing happens again, and for the time that you travel, or rather the distance that you travel on the road, we'll charge you for that. You won't even come to know. Only your bank will tell you.
Now, the concern also is in the delays. Very ambitious target has been set by the union government. But according to a report from the 30th of April 2023, 402 out of 749 projects in the Road Transport and Highways Ministry are currently falling behind time. They are getting delayed. What is the reason for this?
See, our main reason where road construction gets delayed is land, availability of land, which is a state subject. So, and this was more so in the earlier years because we were still in the legacy mode. I'll put it that way. The project would be given when only 50% land had been made available. Last 4 years or so, 5 years, I'll put it 5 years, the policy is very simple. Till the time we do not get 90% land, we do not start a project. Now, this delay is statistical. Why is it statistical? A project has been sanctioned. So in the books it goes as project sanction, but we are waiting for the land to be made available to us. Once the land is made available, then actually the project starts. And from the day that we make this full land available, we are giving 2.5 years time for its completion. Most of our projects are getting completed in that time.
2.5 years.
2.5 years. That is why you have seen this phenomenal change. And I'll also add to it that a lot of our road builders who are and contractors, they are today in competition. Every 3-4 months we get a new record. The last one was by Cube Construction Company. They have done 100 lane kilometers in 100 hours. Now, it never used to happen. Such things never used to happen earlier. Today we are, I think there is something in Indians which a lot of people do not recognize. And that is the ability to rise to the occasion, whatever may be the occasion. And I think that is what is happening today.
When you're talking about land acquisition being a problem, are there still some states which are outliers? Because increasingly states must have also realized that they benefit whenever the road construction is accelerated. Are there some states which are still a problem when it comes to land acquisition and cooperating with NHAI?
No, there are problems in some states. There are problems in some states, not only of land, but also of giving us the quarries for taking out earth so that it can go onto the road, quarries for stone, etc., etc. Land remains a problem because at places, it is the price of the land. See, today, people are willing to give land because we are paying almost 4 times the amount with the new law. Problem comes up where the assessment of land takes place by the land revenue authorities in the state. That is where the delay starts. And then delay also starts because the moment NHAI is concerned and they get an estimate of what is to be, what is the expenditure, the entire money goes to the Chief Land Acquisition Officer, which is the state person. How they distribute the money, time taken by them, there are at times genuine problems because the land records may be very old. There are states like Jharkhand. The origin of the land is not known, but it is passed through 5-6 different hands. Now, whom do you pay? It becomes a problem. Till the time the money is not paid, the person is not willing to vacate the land. So that's how the...
So other than Jharkhand, which are the other states which you found a bit of a problem for national highways?
You want to know the states?
Yes.
I think we find problems in all the states. I'll be very even-handed about it. All the states. There are some states where problems are more. There are some states where the problems are also because of the forest clearance. And forest clearance at the state level. See, where trees have to be cut or you have to go through a particular thing. I don't know how many people know that after you make a road and you plant trees alongside, next time if you want to widen the road, those trees are now deemed forest. You have to take a clearance to cut that also. So it's a combination of factors.
Do you think that you have achieved your target in terms of encouraging more electric vehicles in the country?
Great effort is being made for electric vehicles, and not only electric vehicles, there is also the research concurrently which is being done. Most of the vehicles have been using lithium ion. We are looking at sodium ion. We are looking at all other alternatives, including use of green hydrogen. It will take some more time for us to change over. At the same time, emphasis on use of ethanol is being done. My personal view, and I think slowly this view is taking roots, we need to open up the industry totally. Anybody can make ethanol. He can put up his own pump. Let's bring competition in the market. Ethanol price also will become more, I won't say cheap, but at least more realistic. And today it is possible to get the same calorific value which petrol or diesel gives with ethanol, which means that it will be much cheaper, it will be much cleaner, it will be less polluting. So we are at it, and the market is picking up. There are people who are now willing to get into the market to churn out electric vehicles. Of course, there are many modes in electrification that are there, not just batteries. You have, for public transportation, the tram-like buses, which can run through the cities with a wire above, which also means that we need to keep our electricity and power production in tune with what will be the requirement in the future. So all these issues are being looked at in a very serious mode. And I'm sure coming years, you will see many more people converting to electric vehicles.
You are encouraging production, you are giving targeted subsidies, etc. But do you think, giving the last mile infrastructure for that needs to be boosted further? Because most people who are even environmentally conscious would think twice, do I have the wherewithal to maintain an electric vehicle after I buy it?
So we are doing that. That's being done. The government is quite serious on it. And where the roads are concerned, wherever our wayside amenities come up, besides petrol bunks and all other facilities, electric charging, number of electric charging stations are being made. Aim is that this deficiency should not deter people from turning their vehicle into electric vehicle.
But what is the target that you have set for yourself in terms of, by 2024, X number of four-wheelers on the road should be electric vehicles? Is there any roadmap that you're working?
The roadmap is there in terms of how the changeover will take place. At the moment, with the type of installed capacity that is available and the players who are in the market, it is taking a little time. Because it moves on supply and demand. Now, the demand is getting higher. There are companies like Mahindra and Tata's. There's almost a 1-year waiting line for electric vehicle. So, which means that as the production goes up, you'll find that many more people will go into it.
When you're setting very high targets, your dil always mange more. General VK Singh, thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.